celebrating a milestone that was the first of its kind, how Iowa helped lead the change for marriage equality.
And baseball season is back in the Quad Cities, why the River Bandits will be hitting the road for opening day today.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good Thursday morning to you. I'm Alexandria Ikomoni.
And I'm Redrick Terry. Thanks for joining us for Local 4 News this morning. It's been 10 years now since Iowa became the first state in the Midwest to establish marriage equality. 10 years ago today, the Iowa Supreme Court overruled a ban that prohibited same-sex marriage.
And the United States Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage about 6 years later, legalizing it across the country. A Quad Cities couple tells Local 4 News the change made Iowa a more accepting place to be. Local 4's Yukari Nakayama tells us how it affected their lives.
It was like an early wedding present and Christmas all in one.
James and Richie Perez were already in the works of creating a union, but once the ban was lifted, they were finally legally able to say, "I do."
It was something that kind of rejuvenated our spirit, I would say.
Today, the couple is filling bags full of sand to help the bar Mary's on Second from any flood damage. It's a spot they hold dear to their heart.
It's kind of a community center of sorts.
It's a spot where they felt they could be themselves, even after the legalization of same-sex marriage. They say it wasn't always good feelings.
Change is hard to deal with for different viewpoints, and it's a growing pain essentially, but we're better off for it. So to me, it made a world of difference.
And a Davenport pastor who's married thousands of LGBTQ couples in the area says he's seen a progressive change.
I think there's a wide acceptance today of marriage equality.
James Perez says he's even seen that change within his most conservative friends.
Now that they see Richie and I being married, and for as long as we have, they're like, you know what? Maybe my thinking was wrong.
It wasn't only a monumental change in the lives of Iowans, but our surrounding neighbors as well.
After that marriage equality decision, people were coming from all over the country to get married in Iowa.
And for many, today is a reminder of the beginning of a step forward in the pursuit of LGBTQ civil rights.
It's not something that, should be voted on. It's just something that should be guaranteed to everybody to be able to love who you choose.
Yukari Nakayama reporting. We learned that Iowa Supreme Court Justice Daryl Hetch passed away from cancer. He was one of the justices who helped make same-sex marriage legal in 2009. The organization One Iowa says they are grateful for his service on the Iowa Supreme Court.
One of the Illinois state troopers who lost their lives last week was laid to rest yesterday. Family, friends, and members of the law enforcement community gathered to honor Trooper Brooke Jones' story. She was hit by a semi while inspecting another vehicle alongside of the road on US 20 near Freeport last week. You're looking at video from the day of the crash. Jones' story was a 12-year veteran of the Illinois State Police.
Former Vice President Joe Biden posted a video on Twitter after multiple women said he touched them in a way that made them feel uncomfortable. That response leads our national headlines. Biden, who is expected to enter the 2020 presidential race, acknowledged he has caused some discomfort, but he didn't apologize and defended his personal interactions.
Senate Democrats are calling for the FBI to look into security measures that could prevent possible breaches by foreign agents. That's after a woman from China talked her way into President Trump's Palm Beach, Florida resort. The Secret Service arrested the woman, who was carrying 4 cell phones, a computer, and a thumb drive that was containing what was called malware. Meanwhile, the House Judiciary Committee voted to authorize subpoenas for the full release of the Mueller report. Attorney General William Barr has said he would release the report by mid-April, but with redactions. It is opening day for the Quad Cities River Bandits.
But we won't be seeing games played at Modern Woodman Park for another few weeks. And that's because flooding along the Mississippi River has surrounded the stadium. Local 4's Andrea Medina joins us live outside the ballpark. Good morning, Andrea. Will they be playing at Burlington?
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, the players will be hitting the road to kick off their 2019 season at Community Field in Burlington. And ever since the city of Davenport installed the flood wall around the ballpark, they've been able to stay in gameplay without too many issues. Now, in years past, they've been able to use a ramp to access the water-surrounded stadium for games, but the general manager tells us this is the first time they've had to change venues. She says it's been an exhausting process trying to figure out options, but the Burlington Bees players have been very willing to help. They're grateful for them, the city, and the community's support as they deal with the flood as best as they can, and they hope to have things up and running at Modern Woodman Park in no time.
Thankfully, the City of Davenport has been very communicative with us, and they've been working on a contingency plan in the event that we need it. April 15th, though, we are scheduled to play at home. Don't see any problem with this. The City of Davenport thinks they can make this happen, and hopefully Mother Nature cooperates.
And as you heard, if all goes well, they're scheduled to play at home on April 15th, so finger crossed there. So fans who purchase tickets for today or tomorrow's game, they can use them in Burlington, or they can exchange them for tickets here in the Quad Cities when they're back at home base. Anchor Alexandria, back to you guys.
Andrea, thank you. It's just good to know that you have the option to go visit or just change for another game.
Definitely.
All right, well, with warmer weather in the forecast, it's only a matter of time before severe weather creeps into the picture.
That's right. By this time in the year 2017, we already saw several tornadoes, including one that did a lot of damage in Muscatine. Our very own Ash Simpson shows us how things looked 2 years later.
We were very, very lucky it happened at night when there wasn't anybody here. If it had happened on a Sunday morning, I don't even like to think about that.
On March 6, 2017, an EF2 tornado ripped through the town of Muscatine, Iowa. What happened in an instant left behind damage that would last much longer than that.
Didn't seem to be anything reasonable that they were trying to describe to me.
Wesley United Methodist Church sustained some of the worst damage of the night. The sanctuary was torn apart, including Sally Potter's favorite part, the church's historic organ.
Where there had been a magnificent instrument, there was a pile of rubble that was pretty much unrecognizable.
Oh, you wonder, can we even rebuild it? Is it even salvageable?
The church has since renovated the building and have modernized many of its features, finding light in the darkness.
It was very humbling. We had a very good outpouring of people from the community up and down the street here. They came in, they wanted to volunteer to help clean up.
And through all of it, there was one part of the church that was never touched.
What really gave us the most hope was the cross that's behind me back here was still hanging.
For Wesley United, the threat of storms was always real, but this particular storm became that reality.
Storms are unreasonable. You can't plan on them acting in a reasonable way, and can do an immense amount of damage in just no time at all.
We will be alert and be aware of any potential storms. We'll take necessary steps so that people are not put in harm's way.
A tornado creating a renewed sense of community and a new perspective.
I'm glad we got to work with all the people and we got to do the things that we did. I don't want to do it again.
Ash Simpson, Local 4 News.
Don't blame him there. Definitely don't want to go through that again, but it is really nice to see how well the church has adapted to those issues that they had, and it looks beautiful now.
Yeah, he just kept talking about how many people, different companies and stuff came along to help rebuild. They did it quickly. Everything's completely done except for the organ. They got the parts for the brand new organ, custom-made organ that they get now, and so it's kind of something really good out of a tragedy, but anyway, either way you look at it, they just said that they have learned it can happen. If you think it won't happen to you, you think you're brave, you can go outside and look at it and instantly.
Right. And I love how you said something good out of tragedy, because you really see a community come together in the midst of some type of severe weather. So it's good to see them for this.
For sure. For sure. And we're going to be talking all about severe weather in our severe weather special on Friday right here on Local 4 at 6:30. So you have to make sure you tune in for that.
Definitely.
Yes.
Very important stuff.
Yeah, it is. Alrighty. Well, no severe weather in my forecast here anytime soon. That's the good news. Things might be a little rainy today, though. Just some sprinkling outside. 45 right now. Traffic getting a little bit backed up on I-74. Yesterday was a huge backup on 74, but that's just going to be the case. So hopefully you're getting used to it recently. We'll be getting in the lower 50s today. Might have that rain again, just kind of on and off throughout the day.
Getting used to it, or getting used to finding a different road.
Right.
Let's hope that's what you're getting used to.
Yeah, for sure. Centennial's been my new best friend. Arsenal, too.
Ooh.
You know, I've always been more of a Centennial guy, personally.
I go wherever my GPS tells me to go. Typically I-74.
I'm Arsenal until the barges come.
Yeah, yep. See, that's what happened. We'll be stuck there for a while. All right, Ash, thanks.
Coming up, a young golfer is ready to show off his skills, how he is getting the chance to play at one of the most prestigious courses in the world.
Jay Kibble has that more next in sports.
Time now, 6:41. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you. With Frederick Terry, Alexandria Ikomoni, and meteorologist Ash Simpson. This is Local 4 News this morning. in high definition.